I'm Dr. Irfan Rahman, professor at the University of Rochester Medical Center and a director of Center for Flavoring Toxicology at the University of Rochester Medical Center. And we have a collaboration with Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center on CRAFT, which is known as Center for Research on Flavored Tobacco Products. So let me introduce myself. My main research is smoking and vaping lung effect causing lung diseases. I've been working on this research since last 25 years or so. So today I'm going to talk about the e-cig vaping and its effects on lung and inform patients about lung complication, how to avoid them, and protect their lung from injurious habit, healthy and clean breathing. And this talks about what happens when you vape. So as you see in the here, there's a lung in the larger airways where the smoke or vape goes into the lung in smaller areas. And this is a blood circulation in the alveolar area where the oxygen consumption or exchange takes place. During vaping, e-cig vapors are inhaled into the lungs. Similar to the smoking, these vapors or smoke are full of toxic chemicals, including nicotine. These vapors or aerosol get into your air sacs where oxygen transfer takes place. In other words, these chemicals replace oxygen and cause irritability of the lung, which can cause dryness of the throat, causing cough and breathing difficulties. And this has been well known in terms of vaping and smoking. So as you see here in this cartoon, what are the long-term effects of continuous use? Cigarette smoking and vaping, more or less similar here. What happens in the lung is the clean alveoli in the normal. If it is inflamed, then you see the neutrophils and macrophages get into the airways and cause the inflammatory response. And this inflammatory response associated with COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, fibrosis, and lung cancer. So tobacco smoking is well known to cause COPD and lung cancer, including cardiovascular complications. Vaping can have similar effects, which in long-term use. So what is vaping actually? What are the electronic cigarette? So it consists of humectant, glycerol, polypropylene glycol, and with the e-juice, which is known as the e-liquid. And these electronic cigarette has the battery here and atomizer and a liquid area where this is get vaporized and a user use as a vapor into the it goes into the lung. So there are various types of e-cig devices used for vaping. There are bar, pods, pen-like. As you see in the left-hand side is a cig-like, which is a small, like a cigarette-like vaping device. Then the variations can be different colors. And vape pens are available, mods where you can fill a tank using salt, nicotine, salt or free base, and the pod base, which are mainly the salt base nicotine and is like a USB. And there are various forms and various types of electronic cigarettes are available, and with various generation of devices. Nicotine. Vaping fluid include nicotine and other liquids consisting of PGVG, for example, propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin. This will cause lung leakiness, edema, heaviness of the lung, which may cause bacterial and viral infections. Think of flu or COVID-19 infections. As you get into the lung, it causes leakiness, it causes pneumonia. So similar thing can happen by vaping, and it's been shown that it can cause lung inflammatory response, and aerosol constituents can have a deleterious effect, including the throat head, dryness, vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, volatile organic compound, including aldehyde, ketones, and acrolein, and flavorants are more than 10,000 flavors on the market that include candy, pineapple, banana, and so on and so forth. And these vapors may contain metals. It has been shown that the coil used in electronic cigarette devices can have metal and can cause the deposition of the metals into the lung. So they are misleading label by e-cigarette e-liquid producer. For example, they say there are four chemicals, PGVG, nicotine, and flavoring, whereas tobacco smoke contains 4,000 chemicals, including various tar, carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, ammonia, hydrogen cyanide, arsenic, and other chemical compounds. So other forms of nicotine are freebase and nicotine with salt. This means more direct contact with the throat, which causes more damage. Vaping does not just impact your lungs, it can damage your throat and esophagus. So this is a misconception about the vaping that it has only four chemicals. And some people say it's just a water vapor. Actually, it's not. It consists of so many different chemicals and so many different injurious things can happen in the lung. So here, some of the chemicals are listed here. The fruit or the tobacco or menthol flavors, these are not the juices. These are chemicals, flavorings, which cause the flavoring like a smell, like now we see in different juices, cause the flavoring, imparts flavoring into e-liquid, and that can minimize the irritation of the nicotine or the propylene glycol or PGVG, and therefore the is a smoother hit. Lately, there have been a lot of discussion about wellness vaping. So, wellness vaping means you feel better, and that can be with respect to sleep, energy, and performance by inhaling vitamins in, and these vitamin vaping are simply putting vitamins in vape cartridges or parts or solution and inhaling them. Many people may assume vaping vitamins get into your system faster or easier, but that is harmful myth. Vitamins are supposed to be taken orally, not by aerosols. These aerosols are oxidized, like bleaching your lung cells, causing irritation and inflammation and long-term damage to your lungs and throat. What people intended for wellness can cause even greater harm. These aerosols from vapes can affect the lung capillaries, air sacs, different chemicals get into the cells and cause inflammation and dampening of immunity, means the immunity is get lowered, which can lead to bacterial and viral infections such as seen in flu and COVID-19. This has been marketed for stress relief, for sleepiness, for performance, and this is not a healthy choice. So these culminates into the chronic vaping, causing addiction, destruction of the lung structure, leading to dangerous lung conditions and diseases like fibrosis and bronchitis. One such example includes popcorn lung, which is known as bronchiolitis obliterans, a disease associated with popcorn diacid chemical inhalation. This is common among young people. So as you see, this condition is known as bronchiolitis obliterans. This is inflammation of the bronchiole due to inhalation of chemical particles. The inflammation can cause irreversible scarring that can damage lung epithelial cell. So in chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is emphysema, and chronic bronchitis. And in bronchitis, as you see, the mucus get inside your larger airways, and the air sacs get blocked, unable to breathe. And this is a typical example by vaping. This can happen. The excessive mucus release by dryness into the mouth, and at the same time can cause inflammation, which is a chronic bronchitis. And this is here shown on the left hand side, normal clean airway, and the right hand side is a bronchitis where increased mucus secretion that leads to narrowing of airway, leading to bronchoconstriction. And emphysema is a destruction of the alveolar wall, can lead to the airway damage, and hence the disease COPD. And this can happen by vaping, similar to smoking. So destruction we have seen by vaping chemicals inside the lung. So other condition is fibrosis. Here you can see is a very hard thing when happens in the lung, is a scarring of the lung due to inflammation, and there are cells involved and they form fibroblastic foci, as you've seen here. So these are the very deleterious conditions, and some patients cannot survive here. So cannabidiol or cannabis or CBD or THC derived from cannabis plant, hemp, and these are supposed to be non-psychoactive, the CBD, whereas THC, some forms, for example, delta 9 is psychoactive and is used in various cream and topical ointments and gummies, but not been recommended for vaping getting into the lungs, either CBD or THC. And if you take the hemp product, then you extract CBD and then do the catalysis, you produce different THC. And THC 8 is being sold in the market, so as THC 9 and 10, and 9 is very psychoactive compared to 8 or 10. And these are CBD, they come in parts, and they come with vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, nicotine, and flavoring. And there are several unlisted chemicals, can be metal, can be flavoring chemicals in these parts. So these are harmful chemicals. We have heard about the vaping lung effects and the addiction. So there is a national quit line, 1-800-QUIT now, for smoking or even vaping cessation. Community outlets and healthcare practitioner can work with you for healthy, clean breathing.